You are listening to That's Life, a One Love Media production.
Hey everyone, welcome back to That's Life. I'm your host, Kyle Fields, and today we're diving into something we all struggle with at some point. Resentment. You know, that feeling when someone does you dirty, and instead of letting it go, you hold on to it like a grudge loyalty program and you're racking up points. Yeah, we've all been there. Here's a real question. Who is that resentment actually hurting? Because I have some bad news. It's not them. Today, we're breaking down the weight of resentment and how it keeps us stuck. We're also going to be looking at what forgiveness really means. I'll give you a hint. It's not letting someone off the hook. And, as always, we're going to lay out practical steps to let go and start living free. Because carrying resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It just doesn't work no matter how bad you want it to. So what do you say? Let's get into it. Section 1. Why we hold on to resentment. Let's be real. Resentment feels justified. Someone hurt us. Someone lied. Someone betrayed our trust. And deep down, we think, if I let go of this anger, it means they get away with it. That's not how it works. Holding on to resentment doesn't punish them. It punishes us. It takes up space in our mind and our hearts. And it steals our peace. And worst of all, it keeps us trapped in the past while they're out there living their best life, probably not even thinking about it. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to let someone who has hurt me live rent-free in my head. But why is it so hard to let go? Because our brain loves patterns. If someone hurt you multiple times, your brain starts expecting the pain. You develop what's called mental loops, replaying the situation over and over, as if thinking about it will somehow change what happened. And sometimes, we hold on to resentment because it gives us a sense of control. If we stay angry, we think it protects us from getting hurt again. But in reality, it's just keeping us stuck. Now, I know you might be thinking, okay, but what if they don't deserve forgiveness? Well, let's talk about that then. Segment 2. What forgiveness really means. A lot of people hear the word forgiveness and immediately think, so I just have to pretend like that never happened? No, not at all. See, forgiveness isn't about excusing bad behavior. It doesn't mean trusting them again. Hell, it doesn't even require an apology from them. Forgiveness is about releasing yourself from the burden of resentment. Because the truth is, most people who hurt you will never make it right. If you're waiting for that apology, that may never come. You're giving them power over your peace. And let's be honest, some people aren't even capable of giving a real apology. Maybe they're too selfish. Maybe they don't think they've done anything wrong. Maybe they don't even remember how deeply they hurt you. Does that mean you have to carry that pain for the rest of your life? Absolutely not. And the Bible makes it clear. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 31 and 32 says, "Get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger. Be kind and compassionate, forgiving each other just as God forgave you." Colossians 3:13 says, "Forgive as the Lord forgave you." Notice how none of those verses say, "Forgive when they finally apologize," or "Forgive when they deserve it." Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. And one more thing, forgiveness is a process. Some wounds take longer to heal. Some betrayals cut deeper than others. Some days, you'll think you've let it go, only for something to trigger that old anger all over again. But guess what? That's normal. Healing isn't linear. Every time you choose to let go, you're taking the power they took back. Segment 3. How to let go of resentment. So how do we actually do this? Well, 1, acknowledge the hurt. You can't heal what you won't admit. Be honest about what happened and how it made you feel. A lot of us downplay our pain, saying things like, "It wasn't that bad," or "I should be over this by now." But denying your hurt doesn't make it go away. It buries it deep. Number 2, stop waiting for closure. Some people will never take responsibility for what they did. If you're waiting for an apology, you're handing them control over your healing. Closure isn't something you get from them. It's something you give yourself. Number 3, change the story you're telling yourself. Instead of replaying the pain, start rewriting the narrative. Yes, they hurt me, but I refuse to let that define me. Remind yourself, I am bigger than what happened to me. Number 4, set boundaries. And I know I talk a lot about setting boundaries on every episode, but it's true. For most of everything that you want to start going right in your life, you have to set boundaries. So what do boundaries look like when it comes to this subject? Well, remember that forgiveness doesn't mean letting toxic people back into your life. It just means you're no longer carrying their baggage. And also, boundaries are self-respect in action. Number 5, let it go daily. Resentment doesn't disappear overnight. It's a choice you make every single day. Some days you'll feel peace. Other days, that anger might creep back in. When that happens, remind yourself, I choose freedom over bitterness. Because at the end of the day, letting go isn't about making peace with them. It's about making peace with yourself. If you take one thing from this episode, let it be this. Resentment will never fix what happened, but releasing it is where the freedom begins. So if you're holding on to something this week, ask yourself, is this weight worth carrying another day? Or is it time to let go and start living free? Now, before we go, don't forget about That's Life Members Lounge. This week's all-exclusive member episode is about the science of forgiveness. We'll be sitting down with a licensed therapist to break down how resentment affects the brain and what actually happens when we choose to forgive. You can sign up at patreon.com/OneLoveFLA. Next week, we're tackling the art of saying no, how to set boundaries without feeling guilty. Until next time, do you, but do it with love and affection. I'm Kyle Fields, and that's life.